Welcome to This Week in High School Sports. Teresa Whipple here with Steve Willits. It's starting to feel like fall, Steve.
Yeah, and school's back in now. Last
right.
week we did a show pre-2018-2019 school year, and everybody's back, and everybody's out on the field and on the courts, and
Yeah,
activities have begun.
no smoke in the air, and all's good. So, and even a little rain. So, with that note, let's talk about soccer, huh?
Yeah, girls soccer season, and the team that we tend to focus on around here, and for good reason, Edmonds-Woodway girls, always strong in soccer, and apparently this year is going to be no different. 2 games already this year, 2 matches against very good opponents, 2 victories. So we thought, why not bring them in and get a feel for how things are going thus far and what the expectations are. How about talking to a couple of our senior Edmonds-Woodway soccer teammates? Here are Sophia and Michaela. The Edmonds-Woodway girls soccer team is back in action again this year. Off to a great start, too. 2 victories thus far in 2 matches against 2 very quality opponents. And with us right now, 2 seniors, a lot of 2s in there. Sophia Pellegrini on the end, who is a defensive player, and Michaela Danyo, who is playing on offense, one of the forwards. Girls, congratulations to a great start to the year.
Thank you.
Sophia, I'll start with you. Tell me a little bit about opening night, 2-1 victory over a Kamiak team that is a 4A school that was one of the better schools in Wesco 4A last year. It had to feel pretty good.
Yeah, I felt pretty good. Going into that game, we didn't really know that much about Kamiak just because they are 4A and like none of the schools really in our in like 3A Wesco have played them that we like knew of. So I don't know. We just went into the game like thinking it's the most important 80 minutes of our season.
And it was the most important 80 minutes that night.
Yeah.
And a question that I had written down, which I think that the 2 of you are telling me off camera that maybe isn't as big of a deal as maybe I would have thought it would be. But Michaela, that game was the night before school started. I remember when I was in high school, I was always a nervous wreck the night before the first day of school. And I had my mind going in a million different directions. Is it a good thing to have a soccer match the night before? Does it kind of take your mind off of school? Or is it just, it's just not a big deal, it's another game?
I think that it wasn't that big of a deal. I think it was just go out, play your hardest, play to your best ability, and the next day you have school, right? And like Thursday we played and we had school right after. So it was just kind of just like getting back into the mode of things. So it wasn't bad for me.
And it makes for a nice transition too, right? Back in there and picking up a victory the night before. And then, of course, the day after, on Thursday, you did get the 3-1 victory over Snohomish. And we should mention right away, we are going to name Michaela our first recipient of our 2018-2019 Action Jackson Plumbing Player of the Week, because Michaela didn't just score 1, she scored 2 goals against Snohomish. 3-1 victory. Yeah. Congratulations. And I think we've got a video we're going to put up right now, Michaela, of your second goal. And as we watch the video, you look a little surprised that the ball went in. Was it an intended shot, or what happens here on this video?
Well, I did score my first goal 5 minutes before that, so obviously I was a little shocked that I scored another goal, but I took it and I was like, that's what's up. So it wasn't.
So it wasn't intended for that to go over the goalie's head and into the back of the net, right? You were a little bit of... Hey, we'll call it what it was, right?
Yeah.
No, good video work too. Who's shooting the camera there?
My mom.
Good job, Mom. Always catching the big moments in life, right?
#1 fan.
There you go. We kind of like that.
Yeah.
And Sophia, I mean, Snohomish, they won the league last year in the regular season. Mm-hmm. Your team won the district championship, so these are the battle of the 2 titans here, if you will, and a team that returned a lot of players, right? So what were we expecting from Snohomish that night?
We knew Snohomish would be a strong team, and we knew that they were going to come out physical and that they were going to come out high intensity, but we also knew that we just needed to come out and play our game and like hold possession and play how we know that we can into our full potential. So I think that's what we started to do in that game.
Michaela, you had an interesting take on it too, and I asked you off camera again if you were happy about seeing Snohomish this early in the season.
Yeah.
Normally you like to kind of ease your way into the schedule, right? You would have rather seen Snohomish later on. Why is that?
I would have rather seen them later on because it would have been a more competitive game for us. I think that right now, like, people are building chemistry in the team, and in 2 weeks, they're going to be a different team than when we saw them. So if we saw them 2 weeks from now, it would have been more of a competitive game, which I would have liked to see. but I'm not complaining. So
Yeah.
yeah.
But interesting to note, I mean, you don't hear that from a lot of athletes. Sometimes if they would rather see a team when maybe they're not at their best or they've got the best chance of winning, you would rather be challenged. You would rather play
Yeah.
a team when they're at their peak.
Yeah.
Is that just part of being a competitor and wanting to take on their best? Or
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to think so.
and it seems to have gotten you where you are today, which is as a 4-year starter at a quality program. Does this team talk about goals very much? Because your 8th grade year, right before you came into high school, this is a team that won the state championship. Your freshman year, and Michaela, a year that you played varsity, this team
Yeah.
finished 3rd in the state.
Yeah.
You've won district championships. You've gone to state, got knocked out in the quarterfinals at the state tournament last year. Sophia, you're going into your 3rd year of varsity.
Yes.
What are the goals for the Edmonds-Woodway Warriors soccer team?
Most of us, or I mean all of us, we want to get back to state because we've had a taste of it, and so we know how awesome it is and how like good it feels to be there. Also, like winning districts is one of our big goals because we did it last year. But overall, like our team just wants to have fun, and we know that when we're having fun, we're gonna play our best, and that we're gonna get the most out of our season. So.
Michaela, do you want to add to that at all? I mean, what would be your I mean, obviously winning a state championship would be the biggest thing, but ideally when you start to think in terms of what you want to get out of the season, what are you looking at?
I want to make memories with people I really care about, and I think I will. And I think having fun will help that, and I think that's one of my biggest goals for sure.
Very
because
good.
Memories are going to go a lot more than anything, so.
And one of the people you're going to make memories with is Miss Pellegrini here. Tell me a little bit about Sophia. What kind of a player is she? I know she's one of your star defenders.
Oh, yes.
What kind of a leader, a person, what kind of a teammate is she?
I think she's an amazing teammate, not gonna lie. Back in defense, she's strong, she's confident. She always knows how to lead the team and she knows how to talk to us. If we're having a problem or you need to shift to the side or something, she'll definitely tell you like, okay guys, like let's go, and she picks us up. There have been times where she's saved us so many times. She's saved us from definitely goals that would have been, and she's like sacrificed her body in front of the goal, corners, everything, and she's just an amazing person. So thanks.
Nice words, right?
That's really nice.
Okay, Sophia, your turn now. Tell me a little bit about Michaela Danyo. Who are we looking at here?
I love playing with Michaela because I know that every game she's gonna give everything she has, like till the last minute, and that I don't know, it's a 50-50 ball. Like I know Michaela's gonna win it because she's gonna be given 110%, and I just love playing with her because she scores, like she'll pass. She's always like, as a leader, she's always like lifting other people up, and she's always like letting everyone know it's gonna be okay and that like we got it. We just have to play our game. But yeah, I love playing with Mick.
Sounds like 2 terrific
Yeah.
teammates right there, and they're not the only ones on the team. So let's go over the roster here for a moment. Michaela, I'll start with you. Since you're an offensive player, tell me a little bit about some of the other players we watch on offense.
Okay. Well, right now we have a really strong offense, I'd like to think. So I know Gabby Chappelle's up there. She plays on the wing, so we definitely cross to each other, and it's really good. Kira Hicks is up there. Ingrid Fosberg.
Fosberg,
Sorry. She's up there, and I think overall we can connect passes, and I think, like I said, in 2 weeks we're just going to be stronger, and I think we're going to have a strong offense.
And the names you just mentioned, all with a lot of varsity experience, so I've got to think
Yeah.
that helps
Yeah.
as well. And then as far as on the defensive side of things, Sophia, let's start with the goalkeeper because this is kind of interesting. This is a team of all seniors and juniors except for no sophomores and 1 freshman, and she just happens to be the starting keeper back there.
Yeah.
Tell me about Jessica Emerson.
I love Jessica. She's awesome. Coming into the season after losing Hannah because she's off at college, it was definitely a transition, and we didn't know who we were going to put back there, and we didn't know what we were going to do. But Jess definitely stepped up, and she has like this confidence and this attitude that she plays with, and she's just great at it. And she talks to all of us, and she's really strong back there, and it's nice to have her there.
Yeah, losing Hannah Hicks to graduation. Those are some big shoes to fill. So to come in
Yeah.
as a freshman, that's a lot of pressure.
She's definitely doing her part, though. She's
Yeah.
definitely holding her own.
I'm sure a couple of victories early in the season will help build the confidence there too. How about some of the other players along the defensive line?
On one of our outside back, Juliet, she's so good. She's one of the best slide tacklers in our league, I think.
And that's Hufford, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Juliet Hufford. I don't know, she's really strong. And we have Megan Ash and Mia Dickinson, who also play in the middle. And then on the outside, where Molly Carden used to play, we're trying out like AJ and Kirsten. And it's just a transition, like filling that outside spot because Molly has been there for so long. So the defense, we're still getting organized and we're still getting used to it. But it's strong. We're good.
Breaking in new players and still picking up victories along the
Yeah.
way, so why not? And then as far as, are we leaving out any other players? So we covered the midfield there a little bit too, right? So we're
We have Kiara.
Serafini, her throw-ins, let me tell you, they're
Yeah.
amazing. She actually scored off one
Off
on
her
our
throw-in.
last
Yeah.
game. Yeah,
Thanks, Naomish.
it was super cool.
it's like if you think you stop Edmonds-Woodway and other elements of the game, all of a sudden here comes the throw-in from
Oh.
Serafini. Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice. So it sounds like a team that's well-rounded then and doing well. And we'd ask you about the coach, but I know we've talked about Bill LeCompte on the show numerous times, and everybody loves Bill, right?
Yeah.
Is that fair
we
to
love
say?
Bill.
Love Bill and the assistant coaches too. How important are assistant coaches to a soccer team?
Really important.
I mean, because we always think of the head coach and they always get kind of the shout outs, but tell me a little bit about who the assistant coaches are on this team. And
We have Kim and Tony, and I don't know, they're great. They're always like, they talk to you when like you need, I don't know, if there's something you need to fix with your game or if there's something else we should be looking at, like they'll let us know. And we also have Kevin, who's like our goalkeeper coach, but he's awesome, and I don't know, they really help us a lot.
it takes a village, it takes an entire organization, and they seem to be doing very well so far. It's your senior year, so what are we looking forward to for the school year, and what kind of activities will we be participating in? Michaela, maybe I'll start with you. I know you're playing soccer year round, right? You play club
Yeah.
soccer as well?
I do for Rush.
Okay, so Rush is going to keep you busy, and
Really busy.
are we hoping
Yeah.
to play soccer into next year? And if so, what schools are we maybe looking at?
I'm looking at East Coast schools, so I definitely want to get out of the West Coast. But I'm looking at some schools over there and hope to play soccer.
And it's not that you don't like the West Coast; you just want to
Yeah.
experience
I
something
just
new,
want
right?
something new. I want a new experience. I want new people. So I think the East Coast will have that.
See where that goes. And then as far as you, Sophia, I know we've watched you on the basketball court the last few years on that that strong Warriors team. I have a feeling basketball's probably in the future, but you're also busy with ASB, correct?
Yeah, I'm on our senior class ASB. I'm class president, so that keeps me busy.
Keeps you extremely busy.
Yeah, but I don't know, I really enjoy doing it, and
And we'll see where that goes. And
Yeah,
as
we'll
far
see
as
what happens.
next year, do you have any idea where you might want to go to school or what you might want to study?
I'm not sure where I want to go, but I definitely want to do stuff with science because I love science, and I just hope I hope to focus on like school next year. So.
Absolutely. Well, and we always like asking about the future, but right now we're focusing on the present, and present involves an Edmonds-Woodway team that is very strong again this year. Should be a great season. We should mention coming up this week, Marysville-Pilchuck at home, Tuesday night, Edmonds Stadium, 7:30. Always fun to have a good crowd at Edmonds Stadium, right?
Yes. Come
then-
out, please.
So yeah, get on out there. Then a couple road games coming up later this week with Everett and Squalicum. So we will continue to watch Edmonds-Woodway all year. Sophia, Michaela, thank you both for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Congratulations on 2 huge victories to start off your year, and we will hopefully be talking Warrior soccer for the next couple months.
Beautiful.
Thanks.
Well, seeing that video reminds me we should tell people, send us your videos if you happen to be at a game because we might be able to use them. Right?
Sure, videos, photographs.
Photos, yep.
We'll take everything.
We
But
will.
yeah, and what a fantastic video,
That
by
was
the
a
way.
great video.
The first time I saw that video, the first thing that came to mind was what a shot, but the second one was watching Michaela's reaction. I
Yeah.
think she was even a little bit surprised, and that says something because that's a young lady who has been known to put a few goals into the back of the net from time to time.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what that team does because they have such a great history. And let's talk about cross country now.
Yeah, cross country got underway this past weekend. The Lynnwood Royals heading all the way up to Bellingham to take part in the Seahome Invitational. I think 35 different schools up there, all 4 grades, hundreds of runners running up at Civic Stadium up in Bellingham. So we thought we'd bring a couple of the Lynnwood athletes in to talk about their season and what their expectations are. The cross-country season got underway this weekend, and joining us right now, 2 of the members from the Lynnwood Royals cross-country team, sophomore Esther Himmelfarb and freshman Dax Castagnetta. Guys, first of all, thank you very much for joining us. I know it's not only early in the cross-country season, but early in the school year. So getting folks out here to do interviews, not always an easy thing to do. And both of you coming in here after a big weekend at the Home Invitational, which took place up in Bellingham. First event of the year. Esther, I'll start with you as it's your sophomore year. How did you think things went overall?
It was really fun, yeah. I liked the effort that everybody showed, and it was a really great team experience and seeing how everyone helped each other out.
Big event, too. Over 30 schools involved, hundreds of runners. Dax, you barely even started school this week, and all of a sudden now you find yourself at an invitational running. What was the experience like for you as a freshman, just being up there for the first time and participating?
It was a little nervous. I was a little nervous, and then we got better towards the end.
And when you say got better, you put up a nice time, 12:01 over a 2-mile course, which is fantastic. This is an event where they actually have you run by your grade level. So all the freshmen running together, all the sophomores, juniors. Dax, you and I were talking before the cameras were rolling. I thought it would be a great thing, and you guys would kind of enjoy that, but it does make for a long day, doesn't it, when you're doing all these races?
Yes.
The freshmen went first, so did that help a little bit in terms of just getting it over with and kind of easing your nerves a little bit?
Yes, a lot.
So you're happy to get that out of the way?
Yes.
And what was your goal coming in? You told me that you wanted to just finish, what, in the top
50,
50 out of all the freshmen, over 100 freshmen, and where did you place?
19th.
19th, congratulations. Kind of a big deal.
Thank you.
Esther, for you, you've run on a lot of different courses. You ran as a freshman last year. Tell me a little bit about what the Home Invitational is like. What kind of a course is it, and where were you running?
So we were running at Civic Stadium, and it was a bit hilly, I think, but it was a really great race because it was a bit shorter, and once you did the first loop, you kind of had a feel for what you wanted to do on the second loop.
And you mentioned a bit shorter. Most cross-country races at the high school level are in the kind of the 2.5 to 3 mile range. 2-mile course, is that a good thing? Would you have rather it been a longer course, or how did you like the distance?
I really liked the short distance because it's done quicker. You feel like you're still have a bit of energy by the time the first mile passes, whereas the 3 miles, it's like you're dying after the second one.
And Dax, what about you? Do you like the 2-mile course?
Exactly the same.
Is it kind of one of those things where you get to the very end of the finish line there, and all of a sudden you think, wait, I have more race to run, right? Shouldn't I be going a little further, or is it just kind of like one of those big reliefs that you're done and it's over with?
That's over with, and it kind of feels shorter than what we run at practice.
So in some ways, getting ready by practicing at longer distances helps you for that short distance.
Yes.
Very good. What was the bus ride like for you guys? That's got to be kind of fun, right? You finally get to go up there with your teammates after running around the high school for the last couple of weeks. Is that something that you and your teammates enjoy? Do you get to kind of bond with people a little bit when you're doing that, Dax?
Yeah.
What are some of the activities on the bus on the way up?
Usually we just talk and go on our phones.
Yeah, a lot of phone use, I would imagine, right? And Esther, 9 o'clock start time on a Saturday.
Oh my gosh.
How do you like that?
It was a definite wake-up call, yeah. But it was good. It woke me up, yes.
And especially when you guys have to go all the way up to Bellingham. So what time did everybody leave?
6:45.
6:40. First weekend of the school year. Hello, welcome back to school, right? As far as other races you've got coming up, I'm looking at the schedule here for Lynnwood this year. You're hosting 3 different schools this Thursday over at Martha Lake Airport Park. And then you've got other runs coming up in Bellevue, in Portland, over at Cascade. A Hole in the Wall, which is always a big one up in Arlington. The Lakewood High School hosts that. Esther, you've already been doing this for a year now. Have you had a favorite course so far, or maybe do you have a course that you're looking forward to running?
I'm really looking forward to running the Portland one. I can't say that I have a favorite course, but I've heard some pretty good things about Portland, so I'm excited about that.
And that's the Nike Invitational that comes up September 29th. Kind of a unique course too, right? Don't you? Are there obstacles along the way?
I've heard hay bales and some hills and stuff, so that's going to be interesting and definitely risk of tripping for sure.
I can imagine. Dax, do you do you enjoy having obstacles put on a course, or would you rather just run straight ahead and get to a finish line?
I mean, it would be fun doing obstacles, but then most likely running straight.
Changing it up a little bit, right? That's not a bad thing either. Esther, I was noticing, looking at your time this year, what you ran at Home versus what you were running last year, it looks like you're a little faster this year. Talk to me about off-season training and what you've done to get ready for the cross-country year.
I usually do some off-season training with a different coach, and it's a really fun experience. I like longer distances, so I've done some half marathons in the past, and training for those. But I worked towards this past summer, particularly the cross-country season.
Okay, very good. And is half marathons and marathons in your future then? Would you like to maybe do more of those?
I definitely want to do a full marathon, but our coach recommends that we don't do one until after we turn 18 because
Okay.
our bodies aren't ready for it.
And Coach Stephanie knows what she's talking about, so we definitely would defer to her on that one. Dax, what about you? What do you do during the summer months to get ready for cross-country season? Do you do a lot of running on your own, or is it kind of a little more of a challenge to get out there and run sometimes in the summer?
Like sometimes I just run out, like when I have like free time. But then I just did the cross country summer training.
And what is it about cross-country that appeals to both of you? I know it's a sport that a lot of people that don't partake in it don't always understand it. Esther, what do you tell people when they ask you why you like cross-country?
It's definitely the people. It's just the environment that you're in and all the people, because they're all very positive about it for the most part, except when you're starting. Because it's a group effort because you're all struggling. You know the person next to you's hurting, and it's really an amazing time, and it's just fun to be around all those people.
And Dax, what about you? Do you have a certain thing about cross-country that you enjoy more than others? Is it just the feel of running, the accomplishment, the challenge? What is it for you?
Mostly, yeah, that, like, and getting like exercise.
It's a good way to get exercise, right? So I mean, everybody should come out and do it. Why not? Do either of you have personal goals for the year? I know, is it in terms of districts? Is it in terms of personal times? Esther, when you think about what you want to accomplish during this cross-country season, what comes to mind for you?
I really want to get my time down, work to become stronger, and also just kind of more team building stuff, because I think that's important as we go through the cross country season, because you're with all those people for a good majority of the day. So
Great perspective. And Dax, do you have any personal goals? I know obviously sounds like you've got some fast times already out of the gate here. What are you looking to accomplish this year?
I want to try to make state and just break my mile time.
What's your mile time right now? Do you?
I forgot. It's like in the 5s.
Okay.
gosh.
Yeah, not too bad, right?
Yeah.
You've got a teammate here that's very impressed already, so congratulations on that. What kind of a team is this, Esther? Tell me a little bit about the camaraderie and what the chemistry's like right now.
We definitely have some good camaraderie, as our team is still pretty new. We have a bunch of younger people on the team, which is awesome. We actually don't have we didn't have many senior guys compete in the race because a lot of people have graduated recently, and so it's definitely more on the newer side in terms of faces, but so far it's going great, and it's really fun to work with different people and see them.
And looking at some of the times, both for the boys and the girls, a lot of underclassmen on this team. It seems like a lot of them that are some of the better times that are being put up so far. Tell me a little bit about some of the girl runners on this team and who we can be watching this year.
For sure, Christina Savinkova, she is awesome, and for sure Haley and Ia, they're amazing runners, and I'm really happy that they're running again this year. I ran with them last year, and they're really awesome girls, and they're just really fast and really fun to be around, and they're very positive too.
Competitive group? I mean, do they push each other in a positive way?
Yes, but I think we also help lift each other up and make sure we're doing okay, and I think that contributes to being more competitive too.
Very good. And then Dax, what about you? Tell me a little bit about some of the male runners, the boys. I know you're just new to the school, so you're just starting to learn names, but I'm sure Micah Murphy, Jacob Potter, and some of the others, Matthew Mason, Anthony Chambers, who are some of the guys you're running with, and what's it been like to have some of the upperclassmen maybe give you advice along the way?
Oh, definitely Micah Murphy. I would like run with him, and then he tells me how to run, and it's just been fun running with him.
Is it a good way to kind of get used to your high school environment too, getting a chance to run with upperclassmen before school even starts? Do you feel like when you walked into the school for your first time this week as a freshman that you already had some alliances with some of the upperclassmen? Was that a positive experience?
Yes.
It kind of helps a little bit, doesn't it? What was the first week of school like for you? Brand new school, freshman, I know it's always a little nerve-wracking, right? What
Yeah,
were the first 3 days like?
First day, I was like, I kept going to the wrong classroom. And it's like southeast, I'd go to southwest. And then, so that, yeah.
I see Esther shaking her head over here as bringing back some memories from last year as a freshman.
Yeah.
Is it a lot easier once you go into your sophomore year? Is it?
I think it helps because you know people and you always kind of plan with each other, like, oh, who's in what class. So if you see them, you kind of know which direction you're headed in, which is nice.
Sure. And Esther, you're a busy lady when it comes to school. Tell me a little bit about some of the clubs that you're involved with.
So I'm involved in 5 clubs. I do Interact Club, Hangout Club, Key Club, TSA, and the Mill Creek Youth Advisory Board, which is outside of school.
And oh, by the way, you carry a 4.0 GPA. So
Yeah.
getting it done in the classroom, getting it done out on the course, and certainly in your extracurricular activities. Congratulations to you. Tell us a little bit about Hangout Club.
Hangout Club.
yeah.
It's an awesome program. We hang out with kids with disabilities until they have to go to their bus, and I'd recommend so many people to do it. It's a great way to interact with them and to get to know them because they live in their own bubble and it's hard to interact with them outside of that. So it's really, really amazing to get to see them and get to see what they can do. And yeah,
Well, that's excellent work. We're happy that you're doing that. And Dax, for you, it sounds like you might be looking towards other sports along the way as this season moves forward. Tell me a little bit about some of the other sports you might be participating in.
My mom wants me to do basketball, and then I want to do golf.
So mom wants you to do basketball, right?
Yeah.
Do you enjoy the game of basketball, or do you?
I like playing like outside, not like on a professional team. Or not professional, just team.
Organized team, yeah.
Yeah.
And then tell me a little bit about golf. You've never played before, right? So that's the beauty of golf, and coming into your freshman year, you get to try new things, right?
Yeah.
So we will see how that goes. So again, great job over the weekend to both of you and your Lynnwood teammates at the See Home Invitational. We want to mention one more time that Lynnwood will be hosting an event Thursday, 3:45 up at Martha Lake Park. Jackson, Kamiak, and Mount Lake Terrace will also be there. Should be a fun season. Esther, Dax, thank you both for coming in, and best of luck. Go Royals.
Once again, I am in awe of the activities of these students and how busy they are, and they still manage to have, what, a 4-point
Yeah,
GPA?
I think Esther mentioned off camera that she was involved with 5 different clubs last year.
Yeah.
5 different clubs, a couple of sports, and just happens to be carrying a 4.0 GPA.
It's pretty amazing. Well, good for her and good for everybody who gets involved in sports. It's a lot of work to balance that in academics.
Absolutely. And to do it this time of year when you're just trying to work your way back into the whole
Right.
scene of school, as it were, I'm always impressed by these young athletes,
Okay.
student athletes.
Yes. And we have somebody to recognize on the tennis court. Is that
Yeah,
true?
and tennis in general this week, not bad. For all the other things that we're struggling with, maybe the football teams are not having as much success as we'd like. A couple of the tennis programs, or I should say a few of the tennis programs, doing well this past week. Mount Lake Terrace, 2-1 to start their season. Edmonds-Woodway, a big victory over Kamiak to get things rolling. And Meadowdale, the Mavericks defeating Mariners 7-0. And one of those 7 matches was Ben Fahey, who is their number 1 seed player right now. He defeated his opponent 6-love, 6-2. So Ben, for your effort, we're going to give you the Action Jackson Plumbing Player of the Week. We'll get this shirt on over to Meadowdale High School and maybe have Ben and his teammates pose with us at some point. So stay tuned for that. And congratulations to our tennis teams, and hopefully we'll see even more success from them down the road.
Yeah, and thanks to Action Jackson Plumbing for supporting our Player of the Week program, and also to Red Onion Burgers for supporting our show. So we had to get those plugs in.
Absolutely.
All right, what other sports do we have to talk about?
We're going to talk football for a minute.
Okay.
And as we kind of teased a minute ago there, not a strong start to the season for the Edmonds School District schools, as all 4 of the teams once again taking another loss this week. So we're still looking for our first victory from an Edmonds School District team after 2 weeks. We know we're going to get one this week because 2 of them play each other. So a doubleheader taking place over at Edmonds Stadium on Friday night. We're going to have Mount Lake Terrace first hosting Nathan Hale at 5 p.m. And then we get Lynnwood versus Meadowdale at 8 p.m. So Royals, Mavericks, somebody's going to win that game. And we hope that a lot of folks will come out and tune in and watch that game. Edmonds-Woodway also has a game this week, Thursday night. So a rare Thursday night game. They're going to be over at Pop Keeney Stadium over in Bothell, which, by the way, is a fantastic place to watch a game. One of the better environments really in the area, or maybe even the state for that matter, for high school football. Unfortunately, Edmonds-Woodway is taking on a Woodinville Falcons team that's ranked in the top 10 in the state at the 4A level. So going to be a really tough game for them, but nonetheless, we hope folks get out and support all 4 of our high school football teams this weekend.
That's right. These athletes work really hard, and they do deserve our support. So,
Indeed.
All right. Does that do it for the sports for this
That's
week?
going to cover it for this week. We do have other sports going on, so certainly we wish everybody well as they get going, whether it's in the pool or on the volleyball court or others, and those are sports that we'll certainly be talking about as we move forward.
Yeah, and if you ever want to check a schedule, by the way, if you go to wescoathletics.net, right?
.com.
.com,
Yep.
right. They do have a great roundup of all the sports and every team in the district, and so you can find that there.
Schedules, rosters, and results.
And
from,
results,
yeah.
yep, and some photos from time to time. So, okay, very good. Well, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Take care.